Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am Winnie Benjamin, your host for this segment or this session tonight. And first of all, of course, I'm the Business Training Director for Malls NYC. And our program tonight is entitled Creating Your Digital Business Plan. It's actually part 1 and part 2, and I will come to that in a minute in explaining that, and of course, introducing our facilitators. But before I started, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping and set the stage for exactly what this class is all about and what we are planning to do here, okay? So today our facilitators will introduce to you a new and exciting way business plans are being done. So before I introduce the subject, I'll explain the purpose of this session. So as of March 1st, Malls NYC has introduced a new membership plan where our focus is to help members qualify for capital, which is another word that's commonly called funding, clients, and contracts. And to effectively make this happen, we have introduced a hand-holding program that makes us uniquely different from any other organization. And in addition, doing evenings and weekends. We are fortunate to partner with some of our agents, our other agencies that's offering the services out here, which of course we'll be introducing to you, Brian. You will notice the SBDC logo because they are one of our strategic partners in introducing and working on our platform through the hand-holding process. So this is a program specifically designed for current members. That means the member has purchased a subscription for 1 year, which is $360. And for those who have been grandfathering into this program, they actually are in good standing with their membership. Their subscription was still valid and some renewed at the end of February. So this program, all our hand-holding programs where it says members only, is specifically designed for members who have registered and their subscription has not expired. It's very important. So today, even if you might be a visitor, you're not yet a member, or you are a member, but you have not renewed, you're able to see the entire presentation today. Tomorrow, now everyone, those members who are, especially the ones who have actually just registered, and those of you who are current and have not taken the assessment last year, not the assessment, sorry, have not gone through the training last year, you will have the hand holding. Only 12 new members are going to be able to be part of the hand holding program on the malls. But if you actually own a life plan subscription of your own, you can still participate in the hand holding. So fear not, everybody will be able to participate. You can observe, you could be in the room observing, taking notes, but the new members are going to be able to have the seat of having their software just like the members last year who had it, but of course the program is only for 12 months. And so you are able to purchase your own software for $15 a month. And we will talk more about that. So let's talk about what you're going to get today. So the class, when you read the description for registration, it says that in this session, participants will be introduced to the Life Plan program. It's a cloud-based software and how to use it to create their pitch, which is the most important section of the plan in getting funding. And I'm not going to steal the thunder from our presenters. In this pitch section today, it's going to cover your company profile, the headline, your problem worth solving, target market, competitive landscape, funding needed, sales channel, marketing activities, benchmarking, and forecasting. These are what they call the critical components that your bank and your lending institution or your investors will all need to know. So let's talk about our awesome facilitators. First one is our president of malls, and her name is Annette Runcie, okay? She's an MBA. She holds an MBA in business, and she's an entrepreneur. We all know, those of us who have been familiar with her, we know that she's the CEO and co-owner of J&P Runway Cafe. She's also co-owner with the Golden Crust restaurant in Queens Village for 16 years, along with her husband. And of course, and the Panache restaurant and Eurosol lounge. And so she was able to literally, through all of her training and what we have done with malls, that's where she's able to even pivot her restaurant to be more of an upscale catering venue. So nobody else is better to really guide you through what she did, along with our co-vice president, Michael Duncan. Together, they were able to collaborate, which is something we train our business owners to do, so that you can move in and pivot to a whole new business, collaborating on, for those of you who took the class with me last year, co-branding, all right? Co-branding. So J stands for Jamaica Breeze, P stands for Panache, and together form a new company called J&P Runway Cafe. So these are some of the things that Malls is going to be able to support you with. For those of you who are members and those of you who are visitors, we encourage you to join Malls, and those of you who need to renew your subscription, because we're taking you to the next level. So let's talk a little bit about Brian Young, who is with us. He, of course, hails from the SBDC, York SBDC platform. And so Brian Young is a certified business advisor with the New York State Small Business Development Center at York. And Brian has assisted many small business owners in business plan development, such as develop a business plan that lenders will approve, a plan that helps you to make valuable business decisions, develop a business plan for startup phase or a growth phase. And so prior to York College SBDC, Brian was a loan officer at Abacus Federal Savings Bank. So Brian also holds a BS from Baruch College and of course a master's, all right? So now it's time for me to close my little mouth and oh, look at everybody here now today. And so I am welcoming, and I just can't help it, you know, I've been welcoming our facilitators tonight, Annette Runcie and Brian Young. Welcome them, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey. Welcome, guys. Hello, guys. Good evening, everyone. I see some familiar faces that was here for the OGSM class. Good to have you here again. So exciting, you know, to be here doing another class with a lot of you guys. And we're going to have fun. Okay, we're going to try to make this as fun as possible tonight. Okay. First, I'm going to just start off by just trying to get everyone to introduce themselves. So we know, you know, who's here. You know, we're all family. We're part of the Malls family, but I want to kind of get an idea of your company and whether or not you have a business plan currently right now, just to get an idea of who's in the house. All right, so we'll just go around the room, and guess I'm gonna start. She's the first one I see on my screen here. So Connie, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell me about your business and let me know whether or not you have a business plan currently or not.
Okay, yes. So good evening, everyone. I'm Connie Osavio, and I'm owner of Connie's Kids Early Learn Childcare, and I am a proud Marls member.
Wonderful. So Connie, do you currently have a business plan for you?
And I do not currently have a business plan, although I am planning on expanding. Okay. I started with the OGSM and I'm moving on from there.
Okay, great. All right. Next up is Elaine Dixon. Take yourself off mute and introduce yourself.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Elaine Dixon. I'm the executive director for D Little Star Daycare. I have a business plan that I'm revamping. It was an original business plan from the beginning of my, opening my daycare. So I'm in the process of revamping it, bring it current to make it what I want it to be for the future.
Sounds good. That's right. So you're at the right place.
Yes, I am.
Actually, what it's about, refreshing that business plan.
Right.
Good. All right. Chanel, take yourself off mute, introduce yourself, your business, and let us know where you are with your business plan.
Hi, I'm Chanel Hall. I am one of the owners of Hall That Fun. We're an indoor play space in Brooklyn. We do birthday parties and children events. It's a family-owned business, so it's owned and operated by myself, my husband, and my 4 kids. Their ages range from 1 to 16, and yes, they all work for the company. As far as the business plan, we did one in 2016 when we first came up with the idea, and I haven't updated it since because I kind of got stuck on the forecasting part. So I'm looking forward to being here so that I can update it and fix it so that I can attract more sales and profits.
Sounds good, Chanel, and you're not alone. Many of us, that's the toughest part for many of us. So Brian is going to do some great detail in how we benchmark and how we come up with our sales forecast. So you're in the right place, Chanel.
And she's a proud Moss member. Okay.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes,
That's
that
right,
too.
Chanel. Sounds good. And your company sounds like fun too.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
All right. Okay, who's up next? Oh, I see Nisha. Nisha, take yourself off mute and introduce yourself and your company and let us know about your business plan, where you are with your business plan.
Hi, Annette. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
This is Nisha Saini. I am a new member here for about 3-4 weeks, I think. I am president of 2 companies. One is Holistic Center. And let's start with that first. I started that business a couple of years back, more than 12 years. And it was a holistic center to start with. Since pandemic, we are trying to reorganize the business. We're trying to get into the products part now. And I'm looking forward for a lot of help on that chapter. It's totally new for me, and I think any help will be welcome.
Okay.
And my other business, Amber Construction, we started in April, in the middle of the pandemic, April of 2020. So that we do residential, commercial, and government construction. We are baby in that business.
Wow. Okay, welcome, Nisha. So you definitely can use this business planning tool. You can definitely use
Totally.
it. Yes.
Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. All right, Tyrone. Take yourself off mute, introduce your company, your business, and
yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Tyrone Danzler. I am the COO of Sajady One Transportation. I don't have a plan, but I do have a plan, and my plan is to sit here and learn so I can get a plan.
sounds like a plan.
We're a transportation company that do transportation of all and any kind of transportation needs. So that's it. I need a plan.
Great. Welcome, Tyrone. You're in the right
Thank you.
place. Okay, I see someone Gwendolyn, you have your business card up. Would love to see your face, but I don't understand if you're not Zoom ready. Introduce yourself.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Fine. I'm probably on your mailing list. We met when you used to have your monthly meetings, and I was
The
a
B2Bs,
speaker.
right.
Yes, and I was supposed to speak, but then I guess we all kind of got busy. But what I do is I'm here as a guest, and I wanted to reconnect with you because of the services I can provide in addition. And I did try to reach out to you by email, so I figure if I attend the event, it might remind you that we met. But yeah, business plan. I have a business plan for real estate and insurance. I am a real estate and insurance broker. I've had my plan since 2011. It's just only revamped to add additional services. because I provide with Export-Import Bank to help you become a exporter. And I also provide real estate investor loans and legal protection for businesses to help them get started, have small business legal protection, that sort of thing. So,
Okay.
and I'm looking forward to this.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I think I remember you, Gwendolyn.
Yes.
I invited you a couple. Yeah, we had some.
Mhm.
So definitely, you're a guest today. Tomorrow is actually, as Winnie said, is members only. But
Mhm.
definitely, we can definitely have a follow-up conversation.
Mhm.
We can talk more about membership.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'd love to have as a member, because with all that kind of service, come on, you could be part of this group servicing our new members now.
That's
Well,
right.
I look forward to that. I'm considering it because I'm one of the only female minority-owned businesses in the XM network.
Wow.
So that's a hard designation to get, and we want to keep it. So we want to help all the businesses that we can.
Lovely.
Okay. All right. We'll
Okay.
chat more. Okay.
Thank
Let's
you.
move on to Sonia. Sonia, unmute yourself, introduce yourself and your business, and let us get an idea whether or not you have a business plan. What stage is it in?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Sonia Smith. I am a licensed clinical social worker, the founder and lead therapist at Family Matters and Wellness. It's a mental health and counseling services. We provide consulting services to individuals, churches, the community, social work workshops, etc. We are all about improving the emotional and mental health wellness of individuals and families using a spiritual balance. And we are located in Brooklyn. We accept all insurances and out-of-pocket fee for service. So I do have a beginning of a business plan. Last year I took that class, that SBA class with Brian and Winnie, and I forgot what the other guy's name was. Harry, I think.
Yeah,
on
Harry
Life
Wells.
Plan. Yes. So I started it and it's there in Life Plan, but now I have to get it done, completed. So I'm also a proud Miles member from last year. I'm happy to see that. And so I look forward to continuing participation.
Okay, great. So you were part of the first Life Plan class.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so we're gonna make sure you finish your
I want to.
Your business plan this time around, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Did I touch Angela? Did I get Angela?
No, we haven't gotten Angela yet.
Okay, go ahead, Angela. Introduce your company.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Angela Price. I am president and CEO of the Black Cake Company. We specialize in Caribbean rum cakes and black cakes and ship them all over the world. I do have a business plan. It was updated about 2.5 years ago, but definitely can use some enhancing. And I am a proud member of Marls for about a month, I think.
Oh, welcome. You're a new proud member.
Thank you.
All right, Gracia. I know somebody who should not be new to this, to the Life Plan. Gracia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gracia Clary Leos, and I'm the owner of Bevel's Kitchen, a food and beverage business. I kind of have a business plan too. I did start it earlier with SBDC with Brian and Harry. And I am looking forward to completing it and to seeing where it will take me. And of course, I'm a proud member as well, a proud Mars member.
All right, great. Okay, who we have here? Oh, we have Althea is on here. Althea, could you unmute and introduce yourself and let us know where you are with your business plan?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Althea Maglo, CEO of 2 companies, Althea's Tropical Delights, the home of the exotic Caribbean rum cakes. And I'm also the CEO of Sober Alliance, Inc., a group home for men recovering from drug and alcohol abuse. I'm one of the past members of the business plan with the SBDC. And so thus far, my business plan is just about halfway through, but I have to reinvent it again because I am reinventing my business model. And I went on and took a life plan membership for a year. So with that, I should be able to complete my business plan within that time phrase. Thank you.
Almost definitely. We want you to complete it before the year.
I know. 6 months, that's max, 6 months.
And I'm a very proud Mouse member.
Wonderful.
All right, so who else we have here? We have Latoya is on the line. Okay, Latoya, could you introduce yourself?
You're on mute.
Unmute.
Unmute yourself. I'm not lip syncing yet.
All right, awesome. Good evening, everyone. I'm Latoya Benjamin, and I am the new program director for Marls. So I look forward to being here and supporting you all throughout this process and making sure your businesses are great successes this year.
All right, thank you, Latoya, for being here. And Latoya also has a business also, along with being the program director. She has a business, which I'm sure this training is going to assist her and help her. Okay, we have Helen Maxwell.
Yes, good evening, everyone. It's great to be here. I'm actually a key member of the advisory board for ITG, IT Transformation Group, of which my husband and my nephew are the principals. And ITG they actually provide dynamic, best-in-class innovative technology solutions to enhance the functioning of businesses and government. ITG actually just became, we just got MBE certified, which is great. We're excited to get off and running. We do have a business plan, but it's kind of dated, needs some CPR and some reviving. So we're actually a proud member of Marls, and we're just excited to be here. Like I said, we do software development, website development, IT consulting, customized IT trainings. And then for those businesses that are looking to become, to bid on government contracts, we're able to help them prepare polished professional capability statements. Wow. Because a lot of those, companies don't have the expertise, the technology expertise. So we provide that too. So well, I'm just excited to be here.
We definitely need you here.
Yeah,
all about preparing our members for capital contracts, clients. So
that's right.
We welcome you.
We're here to help. I'm glad to be here.
Sounds good. All right. It's so great to hear everyone introduce themselves. All right. I think I still have a few people still on the line I haven't heard from. Nye Howard.
Good evening, everyone. Annette and Winnie, blessings to both of you and everyone here. My name is Nija Howard. Everyone calls me Nye for short. I'm the founder and CEO of Young Men Strong and also the publisher of Thoughts Magazine for Men. My family is making noise in the back. I hope you guys sorry.
That's okay.
Publisher of Thoughts Magazine for Men of Color. I'm all about educating, empowering, and engaging men of color with services and just highlighting them in the greatest form I possibly can. And so I definitely want Mr. Brian Young to be in the front cover of one of my financial issues for Thoughts Magazine. So I want to put that out there. But also I do have a business plan since 2012. However, it does need to be streamlined and upgraded to a point where it focuses more on some new services I want to be able to offer, but also in a way that's going to generate me income and be more sustainable for from present moving forward. I've been a member of Marls for about a month now, and I absolutely love every bit of it.
Great. Thank you, Nye, for that testimonial. All right. So then I think we have one more. Last but definitely not least, Mercedes Crossfield. Please unmute and introduce yourself, Mercedes.
You put yourself back on mute, Mercedes. You had on mute and then you mute. There you go.
Good evening, everyone. This is Mercedes Crossfield. I am the CEO and president of Helium Image Incorporated. We're a Black and Hispanic owned company. I am also the membership leadership director here at Mars. I'm also a Proud Mars member, and I have to redo my business plan because we also, like another company here, we are taking a new direction with the company. So we definitely need a new business plan.
That's right. That's right. Well, welcome. I hope I caught everyone. I hope everybody was able to introduce themselves. Did I miss anyone, Winnie? I think.
No, I think everybody's good. Yeah, you got it.
Okay. So what we have always say, and Winnie always repeats it over and over, please put all your information in the chat. You know, this stuff is recorded. It's good for us to actually be able to go back and see all the people that was here on the class and their information, their company, that kind of stuff. So when you guys get a chance, just type in the chat all the stuff, all the information about your company. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to try to make this as easy as possible for everyone. Let me see. We're going to make this as real, as I like to say, so that everyone can relate from the beginning. The slides are very short, very simple and short, because this is intended for us to have an interaction conversation with every one of you guys about your business plan and how to keep it alive. And this is just, for example, the beginning of the business planning journey. So Malls is going to have a series of business planning. Okay, this particular one focuses on the live plan tool and how you're creating your business pitch. So this is not the detailed business plan. This is kind of like the one-pager business plan. And the reason why we chose to start this way is because many, many times, you know, when you go for funding for your business, you know, or a lot of you guys say you guys are pivoting, right? And so when you're pivoting or rebranding, you know, a lot of times you need some money to source all the new ideas that you have, right? And how you're going to pivot. And so typically a lot of the banks or anybody who's going to source you, provide capital, wants to have a one-pager, you know, your pitch. You got to pitch it to them, right? So you're pitching your company to them so that they can say, yes, that sounds like a great company. I like where they the direction they're heading. I'm going to spend some money with them. I'm going to fund them. All right. So this is what this training class is about, how to easily create your business pitch, your live business plan. So of course, Winnie did a wonderful job of introducing you, myself, Annette Runcie, and Brian Young. I'm glad to have him with us, helping to facilitate this class. This live plan was actually sponsored by a bank through SBDC that we were very excited last year. We got, many of us got free subscription to this live plan, and we have been using it. I have utilized it to the fullest as much as I can. And so this is a refresher, another course in the live plan again. And our focus again, as I said, is really around the pitch and how do you create your pitch very quickly to provide to banks, to get people aligned, not only to banks, just to get like investors, right? Aligned with your vision and where you're heading and where your company's heading. So it's a great tool. All right, so this is what today is all about. And then tomorrow we are going to be doing, so today focus is actually kind of like stepping you guys through the life plan, various topics of the life plan. And then we are hoping that tomorrow we'll be able to kind of split the class up where we're gonna have more interaction and actually have some of you guys who have the life plan subscription actually go through it for your business. And then Brian and I will actually be around to handhold you through creating the things that we're going to show you today. All the topics that we're going to go through today, tomorrow you guys will be hopefully creating that for yourselves. All right, so that's kind of to give you a high level of what that's going to look like. So what I always do for all those people who are in my OBGSM, I never start a class or anything without having a clear objective of the class. So the objective for this class is that participants understand how to utilize their plan to create their business pitch. All right. And so the deliverable, I'm hoping that tomorrow's deliverable will be that you guys will at least have done the majority components of your business pitch. All right. So that's the objective of the class. So the topics that we're going to review is going to include, as Winnie stated, I'm going to cover the company info part, headline, problem worth solving, target market, and the competitive landscape. So after I cover these sections, then we're going to open up for Q&A. You guys be able to ask questions about your specific company. I'm also, as I'm going through some parts of this, I probably will have a couple of you guys just talk about certain entity of your company, just to get the engagement. All right. So that will be the flow for that. And then we'll have some Q&A from, question and answer time. And then my hope is then we will move on to the next section, which is when I go. So Brian will then discuss funding needs. And this is where the part where a few of you guys want to know how to forecast. Here's where Brian is going to cover what are your funding needs. If you're looking for money, what does that look like? Your benchmarking. How do you benchmark, with other companies in your industry to figure out, what your sales forecast should be, your marketing activities, right? Who's going to support your sales forecast? You can't have if you have sales and you want to make a certain amount of money, then you have to have your market activities to support those forecasts. And of course, the sales channels, etc. So Brian is going to go into the detail, cover those particular topics for you. And then we're just going to have a wrap up. And, after he is finished, we'll talk about, we'll get some more question and answers in and get you guys feedback, and we'll provide some homework to you guys. All right. So that's basically the only slides I have. I'm going to now go right into, I'm going to stop sharing this, and we're going to go right into the live plan. So what I want to do is create a real situation. So as Winnie said, Panache, I am the co-owner of Panache Your Soul in Rosedale, Queens. And so Panache was a dining and event establishment. I mean, the whole idea of Panache when we first started Panache was that you no longer have to run into Manhattan to have upscale dining experience. So it was a dining and event experience. Well, of course, COVID hit. And so when COVID hit, one of the things that Panache had to do was figure out, how do we change? How do we pivot? So I heard a lot of you guys talked about how you want to refresh your business plan because you're pivoting your business, right? Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, I have used this tool to basically create my business pitch for my new remodeling of Panache. And so I wanted to use Panache pitch as an example as we go through each one of the areas so that you guys get an idea. I think it's always good when you guys see real life situation. I think we all learn better that way. And so I'm going to use Panache's pitch, as I said, as we go through or we step through it. Now, this is the life plan, right? So life plan is one of the great things I love about life plan is as it says, it's a live plan. Okay, it's a tool that sits in the cloud. So no matter where you are, you can sign on to it in the internet. You don't have to worry about having your laptop or whatever, or or it being on your hard drive, or you have to find a floppy disk or whatever, but it's all cloud-based. So no matter where you are, you can access your live plan. All you need is once you get your subscription, you're able to sign in, you know, with typically your email address and a password, right? So when you do your email address and password, this is the first screen that you will see. So if you notice, because it says at the top here, Panache Your Soul, because that is the business plan that I'm currently doing. One of the things that I have questions that I had for Harry and Brian when they first did it is that, can you have multiple businesses that you're working on? And the answer was yes, but I believe there is a caveat to that. Whether or not you're able to add it is depend on the level of subscription that you have, of course.
Yeah.
So if you pay more per month, then you will be able to do many businesses. But for right now, it's just Panache that I have in my stuff. And so right across the top here, you will see the life plan. This is the pitch. So this is the first one because it's something that you can do very quickly to provide the information the bank and your investors need to be able to get them to fund you, right? So this is the pitch. This is actually creating your business plan. So this is another great thing that I like about Life Plan. For every section, they typically have a video. And the video, they actually tell you, like, walk you through how you're going to be creating it, right? So here it tells you there's a video talking about how to create your business plan. You know, this is the detailed business plan. And then, of course, forecast get its own tab because it's so important, and benchmark and schedule. This is kind of like your schedule. You'll like now when you're ready to execute your plan, this lays out your schedule of how you're going to go from there. And then the dashboard, and it talks to you a little bit about the dashboard. And then up here at the right-hand corner, I'll show you this because this allows you now to be able to invite other users. You know, this is the other phenomenal thing about the life plan. You can invite users, or, you know, even like if say you're in school and you want your professor to look at your life plan, you can do that. You can invite users to look and critique your life plan, your plan, you know, and give you input. So that's another wonderful aspect of the life plan too. So enough said, that's just the overall high level. Brian, when he comes on, he can probably give you way much more detail about this tool than I can. But so far from using it, those are the things that I know. All right. So this is the pitch again. So because I already did my pitch, I've went through each pieces already. It actually show you and actually I can now download this, for example, print it off, and then gave it to the bank. Or I can download it and actually, you know, email it, right? Save it a PDF and email it. So but what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna go into edit and I'm gonna go through each one of the topics that I talked about, all right? So very easy. We're gonna slide through a lot of this pretty quickly. All right, so the company, basically this is the basic of your company, the name of your company you would put in here. It allows you to actually put in your logo. So for any of you, most of you guys should have your logo. You are able to then upload your image of your logo here. And then you just move on to the next. That's the other thing I love about it. It's very, very user-friendly. All right. So the next thing on the life plan is headline. Okay. So, so the headline is kind of like what I would recommend for all of you guys who was in the OGSM class, for example. So your headline can be two things. Your headline should be your vision. And in this case, that's what I use my vision for my headline. Or your headlines could be like part of your objective. Because some of you guys might have pivoted and say part of your business, you're just focused on, for example, I think Connie, she's focused on buying a building, right? You know, for, you know, the purpose of our students. So you can actually use your headline as your OGSM, your objective, okay? You can use your objective here as the headline also. But the headline, this is basically where you would enter in your headline, and it's got to be something that's going to attract, right? So for me, one of the things that my Panache's prior vision was healthy and uplifting dining and catering and events experience. So I had to basically drop the dining off of it, right? And the other thing that I added to this, and it was from actually going through the life plan, how I was able to add this on. I add on culturally, because one of the vision that I've had, which part of Panache, is that when you come to Panache and you do your catering at Panache or any events, it must be a culturally experience. Like the food, the music you should be able to relate. You should, no matter what, so it's supposed to be a cultural experience. So it's something that I actually added into my headline. I tweaked my headline a bit where it says culturally healthy and uplifting catering and events experience. So that's basically how you would do your headline. All right, so that's what the headline is all about. I'm moving on along. Okay, so here's where I'm going to spend a little bit more time on, right? Because I'm gonna probably call on a few of you guys, because this is very good conversation where we can learn from each other, right? So as we talked about before, that there must be a problem that your business or whatever that you're doing, whatever your objective or whatever that your objectives are, your vision is, whatever it is, your company must be solving a problem. So here's where you would identify what that problem is. Okay, so excuse me. Do you want to describe one major customer problem or make a short list? I just want to describe, make a description of the problem that exists. So you can actually do a short list if you want it, or you can do a description, all right? And you can go either way, but you must outline the problem. So in Panache Eurosol, the problem is current health statistics for people of color shows that they have the highest rate of obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, etc. Healthier catering option with ethnic food in mind would support healthier choices. Now, a lot of people, when I opened up Panache, the whole idea was that to change the dynamic of our food, because a lot of the soul food, right, and our Caribbean food is very heavy, heavy with, we know gravy and all of that. And so, although we want that flavor of the Caribbean, we want that flavor of our roots, the Southern flavor, we also, the idea of Panache was to make it healthier. So we don't want to get rid of the food or the cultural experience of the food, but we want to just make it healthier. So that is kind of like what my problem that I'm trying to solve is, for Panache. Now, what I'm going to do is just ask, go around and try to get you guys, if you guys can share a little bit about your company. What problem is your company solving? All right. First of all, do I have any? I'm going to ask if there's volunteers first. If not, then I'm just going to call on you guys. Any volunteers?
Mercedes, I believe, is ready to go.
Okay, yes. Mercedes. Thank you, Winnie.
I think right now it's people wanting to celebrate, but on a smaller scale than we were doing before. So what I'm understanding is that we are going to be doing micro events to comply with what the state is saying that we need to do.
Okay, so think about what the problem is in terms of that. So the solution is micro events. What is the problem? So think about what the problem is and how you state the problem. Given, like you might say, given the COVID-19, the pandemic and more people are fearful of their safety, you know, not wanting to gather in big groups, you know, along like that. So when you're stating the problem, you're stating it as a problem.
As a problem, right.
Right, you know? So you don't want to just repeat the solution. You kind of make sure you're kind of honing in on the.
So I could say that, I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, you would state the problem, for example, like I was saying about the current, because of the pandemic, you know, people's fear of being in large groups, you know? So
Yeah.
like that, you know, for events, et cetera, et cetera. So that would be more like what you would look at as far as stating the problem.
Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else want to volunteer before I start the call?
I'll take a crack.
Yeah, Tyrone, go ahead.
Yes, just as you said, I revamped with the idea of understanding that as COVID has taken over, one of the things that I was pitching was not wanting to travel on the trains or buses and crowds, and coming to my service as the transportation service and having a personal relationship to take you back and forth to work or any other your needs. Also, my pitch was to, or my problem solving was trying to bring transportation, professional, courteous, and safe transportation to not only people of color, but in certain communities where some of the professional transportation service would not go or don't think deserve it or whatever their reason is. I wanted to provide them with the excellence that they deserve as well as anybody else.
Okay, so it sounds fantastic. Now, one of the great things about Life Plan, which I love because I like things that are structured and focused, is that for each segment, it only allows you certain amount of words.
Okay.
To be able to type in there. So you see all that you just said, it sounds great. But now what you have to do is think about, how do I really capture the problem in X amount of words?
Well, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. And
How
so
to condense it.
yeah, exactly. So that's how you're going to learn. You're going to learn by us going through this, right? So, right. And so you have to be able to identify what the problem is. Current communities of color are lacking, blah, 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 right?
Right.
Or, you know, given the pandemic, people do not, you know, do not feel comfortable or safe traveling on the bus, right? Like that. So you have to think about, how do you word the problem so that it's concise and it's clear.
Right, right.
And when you put your solution out there, it's like, whoa, yeah, he solved that problem. You know what I mean? It's like automatic that you solve that problem.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Who else want to do it? I need a few more of you guys, because like I said, we learn from each other, right?
Okay, so I'll go.
Okay.
So one of my problems. Okay, so I'm developing my my headline probably to be what? 3-year-olds in leadership development?
Okay.
So my whole thing is about the little young minds being developed into leaders for tomorrow.
Right. So what is your problem? What is the problem that exists that you are going to fix? Your
leadership.
Huh?
Leadership.
Okay. And there
is nothing out there for 3-year-olds in leadership.
Okay. So then you have to think about it in the terms of, okay, so leadership is the problem. Leadership for 3-year-olds is the problem?
No. I would say probably the curriculum would be focused
Ah.
on leadership in 3-year-olds, starting
That's
at 3
correct.
years old.
So the curriculum for 3 years olds are missing leadership, right?
Yes.
So it's the curriculum is the problem. It's not including enough leadership, training.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So then, exactly. So just as I said, the same as I said to them, we have to think about it in terms of a problem that we're solving. We have to be able to state it, the problem. And a lot of us get caught up because, we already know who we are and we know what problem we solve, and we're just going out there solving the problem. But it's very important that we're able to clearly identify the problem, be able to concisely state it. All right.
Yes.
As I told you guys in OGSM how powerful words are, right, on paper. Okay. So it's very important that you identify the problem that you're solving. All right. I'm going to call on somebody else.
Is it okay if I go? I'm sorry.
Yes, go, please. Yes.
All right. So hold on. Give me 1 second, ma'am. Go that way. So is it okay to have more than one problem that you're solving?
Yes. Yeah.
Try to condense it to keep it like to one.
You're trying to keep it, keep it focused, but
okay.
Not a problem if it's more than one, but it's better to have, if it's more than one, they all linked somehow.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
So, yeah. So I'm an indoor play space for children, for toddlers.
Right.
And one of the problems is one of the problems is that parents do not prefer the larger facilities because it's unsafe, or should I say it's more of a risk of kids getting abducted and so forth, because there's mass foot traffic in and out of the space. So what makes us unique, the problem that we solve, is that we're an intimate space where the environment is more controlled. The group sizes are small, so parents can see who's coming in, who's going, and they can create more of a bond with the other parents and their kids at the same time.
Great, 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 great. So then your problem, you would state the problem like how it currently exists.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the problem that you're stating when you state it. Currently, okay. Yeah, like currently, their large parents are uncomfortable with the large space, because of X, Y, or Z, just like what you just said.
Okay.
All right.
Got it. Thank you.
Good. You're on the right track.
Can I go next?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. This is Sonia. I worked in preventive services with nonprofit organizations for a long time, working in our communities to provide counseling to families and keep children safe in the home, and provide the structure to strengthen the family so that the kids can remain at home rather than have ACS involvement to remove the kids. And the problem was that our people were not coming to counseling to utilize it from a positive approach. They came as punishment from family court and from ACS. So obviously there was tons of resistance for them to come to services. And I wanted to create an agency in our community that was more family friendly, to provide the same kind of counseling and services that the other agencies were providing, but provide it in a way that when families come, when they come, they would be coming with an approach of support and pampering and empowerment. Hence, I had that the first line in my business was Family Matters SPA. SPA, SPA, gives you that sense of pampering and taken care of. And that was the message I wanted to put out there in the service, that you are taken care of, you are supported, you are empowered to be the best family, best parent that you can be.
Yeah. So Sonia, when you just spoke right just now, I connect clearly to what you do. But I want to connect to the problem. Remember, like, I mean, and when you guys go with the, with Winnie's class and other class, you know, when we talk about marketing, it's important that you identify the problem in a problem statement way, right? Because what you're gonna do, like for example, when you do your marketing, is say, "Are you having a problem with blah 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 blah?" Or you whatever. Yeah. That's how you're gonna connect to your clients, because they're gonna be these clients who are gonna identify with that problem that you're stating. This is why it's so important that you clearly identify and as concisely as possible identify what your problem is, because you want the clients that you're looking for to connect with that problem. You get me? Gotcha. All right. Okay, I'm gonna call on one more. Gracie, I see it's not in your head, so I know you got a good one for us.
Hi. Okay, so as you said that, I was thinking how I was going to start mine. So starting with the problem, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease. These are all of the problems that we, especially as Black folk, Black people, face. Bevo's Kitchen, whole food, plant-based, vegetarian/vegan, our aim is to help alleviate some of those health problems by introducing healthy, delicious, and nutritious foods that would literally build the system and help the people to overcome some of those diseases.
That's correct. All right. So then you stated, you know, I see like with Minds, you're similar to Minds, where you're focused on, you know, the current health statistics, you know, of minority communities or whatever like that. You state the problem as such, you know, and one of the reasons, you know, why, you know, the minority community having these obesities, because their choice, right? The choice of what they're eating.
Because of what they eat.
That's correct.
My motto, because you are what you eat.
That's correct. All right, so I'm gonna move on because of course I want to be able to give Brian a lot of time to do a lot of the data stuff, right? The sales stuff. So let me just move on. Thank you guys, that was great. I hope you guys kind of understand where I'm heading when it comes to like the problem work solving. Now remember, tomorrow you guys are going to actually be going through this with your thing. So start thinking about how you would rework, how you would word, how you would state your problem. Okay, and then of course you will now state the solution. And so explaining the solution is kind of like, now you're advertising your business. Like, why are you going to come to me? Because I'm solving this problem. So for Panache, it's like we're providing healthier meal options, especially for communities of color, while still maintaining their cultural flavors of ethnic cuisines. We're creating a unique fusion that is not only healthy, but it's tasteful, and that everyone, no matter what culture you are from, can identify with. The Panache Eurosoul. That's the unique, that's actually a cuisine we created called Eurosoul. And so that's the solution to the problem for that I stated. All right, so a lot of you guys, I think, have this part. Y'all have the solution down, you know? So I don't think you guys will have a problem with this. The problem is stating your problem. So just make sure you're clear on how to state your problem concisely. All right, I'm gonna move on to target market. So here's where you would then identify what your target market is. And then you will list it in priority. So what I did this time, instead of using a chart, I just did a short list. Okay, so you get to choose whether you do a chart in a chart format or where it kind of do like this. You see like this? This is really neat when you're doing a PowerPoint, or you can just do a short list. All right, you guys see that? Okay, so this helps you to kind of zone in on the different markets, right? And you usually will start with the one that you are going to address first, right? So my top market is people of color with health issues, right? Because remember, that was my problem. The problem is I got people in minority communities who are, or have the highest level of obesity and, high blood pressure. So I'm targeting these people who have health issues. I'm also targeting people who are overweight, because typically, overweight meaning that you're probably, choosing unhealthy stuff to eat. And so a lifestyle. So we want to change that lifestyle, that choices that you have. So that's another. So, and then we also want to target the third on the list, and see how it drills down, is baby boomers. Because many baby boomers, the baby boomer generation are now getting older, right? And they're more conscious of what they eat. They're the ones who are really looking out, going out there, trying to find, how do I make sure I eat right? They're concerned about their health. They're concerned about their healthy eating habits. So that's would be my other target market. And people seeking healthy lifestyle. So there's a lot of, I think you guys know, a lot of vegetarians now, a lot of the millennials are vegan. They love vegan, right? So we're catering to those people also. So this is a list of a target market. So you can list, I think, up to 5, of your target market, and you typically would start with your highest, okay? 1 second. I'm running out of batteries. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so so anybody get an idea? I just want to have 2 of you guys share who you think your target is. Your target market is. And I'm not gonna call in another food person. I want another industry. So can I get somebody else, another industry other than food?
I'll go in next.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Mercedes.
The question was, who's my target market?
Yes, who's your target market? Yes.
A woman between 25 and 45 years old, with a median income of at least $50,000.
See, Mercedes down. You see how specific she is on that?
1 husband, 2 children between the ages of 2 years old to 11 years old.
Okay.
And they are living in one of these new building luxury apartments that has a what do you call it? A party room. They call it a different name. So we're looking to target them as a convenient way of celebrating the event, the birthdays or any events for the children, stress-free, on location in the building.
Right. So it sounds like you're describing your avatar, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's like one of your target market. So if that could be your only one, but start to think about, like, at a high level, the different target groups that you can be targeting. So that sounds like you're very, very clear about, your avatar and who you're focused on. That's your main client, right?
Yeah.
That's right. So then you can also add some other, see, like how I have like 5 different, so I have people, it's very high level. And
right.
I might pick one of them, my top one, and create my avatar from that first one. It's like, would people of color with health issues. Now I'm going to describe
the health issue,
or whomever I choose as my avatar. I start to make the description level. So in the pitch, it's high level. Like, you're not going to be able to write out all of what you just said, right? You just listing, high level, your target markets.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right, no problem. All right, can I have somebody else share? How is
Sorry. Go ahead.
Who was that?
I think Connie was about to go. So if there's time,
Okay.
I'll go after.
Okay.
Okay.
Connie, go ahead.
So my target would be boomers / millennials. I would want dual income household and with earning power of 100,000 per year for probably each. So let's say 200,000 per year. And those parents would be, of course, educated, at least with an advanced degree.
Okay,
And
so
they're
are
seeking.
you targeting I'm sorry, Connie. So are you targeting parents or just
yes,
don't have to be a parent?
The parents that are looking. So I'm targeting the parents that are seeking leadership development for their children.
Okay. Any particular group of parents?
Not any particular. It could be just any individuals of color, I would say.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so just think about all the categories, like your first, your second, or if it's just one, it's just one. But like some people, some companies, they just target women, women of color or women over to whatever as their first one, right? Or just men, for their company. So just think about what those different target markets are. And what
yeah, just mostly it's not about being discriminatory, but these will be, it doesn't mean that I'm excluding anybody, but these are my target group of people, a dual income household.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a parent or a guardian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of a dual income. So you're only targeting people who are guardians of kids, who have kids, right?
Well, that's why I put boomers in there as well, because boomers would be having millennials that would be having children that would be seeking leadership development for them.
Right. But they would have to have, that's what I'm saying, they would have to be parents.
Yes.
Guardians themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So then that's what you would want to put, clearly in there is what you're targeting.
Yeah. Grandparents are great, because grandparents have, put away what they had to put away for their grandchildren and things like that,
Right. Okay. I need to move along. I'm looking at the time and I'm like, no, I got to get on. All right. So I think you guys get an idea of the target market. We'll be diving in more into detail tomorrow, as we talked about, because all of tomorrow's session is about you guys actually starting to do it, so we'll dive in some more. Okay, competitive landscape. Now the competitive landscape is where you kind of lay out, when you do your business plan, that we do like a SWOT analysis, and you start to think about who your competitors are, in the area where you are and stuff like that. So this is where you kind of lay out who are your competitors, who is out there that you might be possibly competing with, and how is your solution better than theirs? So I just started to lay out some of the ones that are close to panache and talk about why I believe my solution is better than theirs, because those are the kind of, for you to kind of think about it. And if you don't have a better solution, you'd have to now figure it out, because then now here's where you start to get into your niche. And then you are able to kind of, get that niche within the market. Okay. So those are the basic components, the beginning of creating your pitch. All right. Like I said, tomorrow you guys are gonna go through this. For me, because I'm so with this stuff, with the business plan, I've done business plan over and over. I was able to actually do my entire pitch under 2 hours. But I know it's gonna take more time for you guys to do that. But enough said, we're gonna continue with this journey. And Brian, I'm gonna turn it over to you. You let me know if you want me to share any components of Panache's as you know, as you go along, okay, Brian?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Annette. Okay.
Do you want to share? You want me to stop sharing? You share, Brian?
Yes, so let me go into my life plan. So,
okay, good. Yeah.
Okay, so you can see my life plan.
Yep.
Was that good, everybody?
Yeah, any questions? While you try to bring that up, any questions, any high level questions so far? How you guys are doing?
Well, it was great. Everything was great.
Okay, good. Pretty simple so far, right? Pretty simple. That was the simple part. Now, Brian, I left the hard stuff. I left the hard stuff to Brian.
Simple. Okay.
I think it's the other way around, and then you did the hard part. I do the easy part. Okay, so let's see. So we done. Okay, so everybody can see this screen here?
Yep.
Okay. So when you first log in to LivePlan, like I did here, you're going to see all the companies that you have in your LivePlan. So for example, I have just logged in. I go into liveplan.com, I just logged in, and it asked me to create a new company. So I am going to use Panache Eurosol Catering Event to create this new company. So did you all see this screen just change to a new window, create a new company?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I am going to, let's see, I'm going to type this in. Okay, so this is Panache Eurosol Catering and Event.
Yeah.
So creating this new company. So when you log into LivePlan the first time, you always have to go through this. Is this a new company? No, Panache has been around a year or more. So when do you want to start this forecast? So now we're in April. So I am forecasting that we're going to do in May 2021. And the length of forecast. So I have to choose if I want to do a 3 years or 5 years forecast. So I pick 3 years. And then monthly detail. I am going to use first year of monthly detail. It's going to break down into month by month for the first year. So the report doesn't have to take up too much room, and you don't have to print all these pages. Preferred currency, I choose dollars. Plan language, English, number of separators. Okay, so this is all they ask you to create this new company in LivePlan. So everybody who log into the LivePlan, you have to go through this to choose your information. And then you create the company. And once you click this green button, you create company. Then they ask you, where do you want to start? Pitch, plan, forecast, dashboard, right? So I assume everybody have seen this, or if not, once you get your LivePlan account, you log in, you're going to see this. So Annette did the hard part. I'm going to move to the easy one, the forecast. So I'm going to start forecast. This is the third box, start forecast. You can watch the video if you want, like 2 minutes long, or we just get started. Okay, so the first thing they ask me is to input revenues. Revenues are income, money that Panache, Eurosol, catering events brings in. So I'm going to add some revenue streams. For example, the first one, they're going to ask you, what do you want to call this name? Tell us about the revenue stream, right? So the first thing I am going to put in, it could be, let's say, according to Panache website, they have, I believe, mainly a few sources. I'm going to just put like 3. They have, let's see, I believe it's wedding. That's one.
Catering, yep.
Wedding, okay, next. So they wanted to ask me if I wanted to charge the revenue by unit sales. This is best for products that are sold in individual units or set quantities. So if I could, I am going to try to create another window open in the browser so I could look at Panache information, right? Let's say Panache. So can everybody see this website? I just opened Panache website because I have to get some information from there. So for example, they have very nice website. So right here, these are some of their services, weddings, catering, okay? So what I wanted to do is to maybe get some information from the website. Okay, catering, let's say on-site. So I want to look at the price. It says starting at $1,000. So now I'm going back to my unit price, right? So per couple, when they come in, is per unit. And I am going to say this is called wedding and constant amount. This is $1,000. And how many of these weddings is Panache going to bring in? So let's say we put down 15 per month. That's about once every 2 days. Okay, starting in May. Next, what price? We just saw the website. It says $1,000. Now this is applying to Panache, but for your business, it's going to be different. You will put in your price, you know, for the construction company, for the mental health service, for Angela's cake service. So you put in your own price. But in this case, we're using Panache and save and close. Okay, so this generates the first revenue source for Panache, right? So I could add another one. Let's say add another one. We saw catering in the website. So I'm going to call this one catering. Catering, okay, next. So we also look at the price. Let me see. Catering, $300 starting. So we're gonna put down this price per unit. So how many catering events? So catering is less complicated than weddings. So we might get a little bit more. Let's say once a day. So we get like 30 a month. So we put down the price, it's 300, we saw it. Again, if this is your construction company, your black cake company, you put down your own price or your website design service. Okay, second. And I go back to the website. I saw another service, it's called Event Space, for example. So these are the main revenues for Panache, Event Space. space. Next, I forgot the price. This one starts at $750. Okay, $750. So again, it's per event. So I charged it by unit sales. That's $750. So let's say we get another 15 a month. Times 750. Okay, so just 3. I don't want to put too many. So this is forecast in showing you in charts. The next item they asked me to input is the direct cost. What does it cost to make what you sell? So for panache, in the wedding, the catering, you have to provide food, like meat, vegetables, seafood. So I'm just going to put in like 3 main ingredients to make panache product. So for the first one, let's say seafood. What do you want to call it? Seafood. That's the ingredient of cost of goods sold. You could choose as a general cost, okay? Or you can apply this to a specific revenue. So if you click this button here, it will say choose revenue stream. So this seafood will apply to wedding, catering, or event space, so that when you ready to see it, it's going to show it in detail that this part of the ingredient applies to catering, and it represents, let's say, 30% of the catering. So you could do that, or you could just apply this to a general cost, like this whole company we call Panache Eurosol Catering Event, and as a percentage, constant amount, or vary amount over time, like every month. It might different if it's a seasonal. So just for the simple demonstration, I wanted to keep it constant. So you're going to see this amount, for example, fixed. So let's say we put down 15% as the total cost of operating this business. Okay, so we put down 15, save and close. Okay. But we need more than seafood to serve guests in catering. So I'm going to add vegetable, vegetable, okay. No, misspelling, vegetable. Okay.
So so the direct cost would be a lot of your cost of goods sold, the materials or stuff that you gotta buy in order to make your product, direct cost, right? So that's what you would lay out, like, you know, for panache, it's of course, as you just said, it's meats, you know, our herbs, our spices, you know, if we're gonna do drinks, for example, the drinks, we're making specialty cocktails, it's all the liquor that we gotta do, you know, cost of goods liquor, cost of goods beverage, cost of goods, you know, so those are our direct costs.
And now they add, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Okay, so now they ask for the personnel. These are the workers who's going to, they're servers that you
That's a
hire.
question, Brian, before you move on to personnel. In the direct cost, can you add in there like transportation and labor as well or not?
On the personnel.
On the personnel?
You said transportation and
For that,
labor.
where we were doing direct costs a while ago?
Yeah, direct costs, those are the meat, seafood, vegetable that make these dishes. That
Just the
make
ingredients.
just the ingredients,
Okay.
the goods. And those other costs, you might be able to add it here. You see the
Okay.
mouse turning to
Okay.
a finger, the expenses.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, this is Helen. Can I interrupt for one quick second?
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for service industries. How are you calculating the direct costs?
There's no direct cost for you.
Not for the service industry.
No.
Okay, just the expenses. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Brian, may I interject since I'm in service business? So my direct cost is my subscription, because I have to pay every month a constant fee for my Zoom and all my softwares. They're constant every month as part of my direct cost. And so I have to include in my pricing what it's costing me to operate.
Right.
You know, all of.
Excuse me, Brian?
Yeah.
This is Mercedes from Helium Image. I'm in the same boat also with Winnie, because I have a storage unit that I pay rent on. Also my business insurance.
Those actually be captured in expense. Even that you just mentioned, Winnie, it can be captured in expense, as Brian was saying. Those are expenses. So cost of goods could be, I'm trying to think, like in services. And services is mostly, as Brian said, is expenses. But if you have to buy something to create the material, for example, for your for your books, for example, Winnie.
Workbooks, yeah, my workbooks, definitely.
The notebooks, you're buying the material, the materials that you have to buy for your, for your company is go more in the line of maybe, direct costs.
Right.
So that's necessary for you to actually do your product or your service.
Right. And if you're selling, like, for example, if they're buying a program for you that has the book and the CDs in there, when they purchase that whole package.
That's correct.
Trading program, correct.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a quick question. This is Tyrone from Transportation. So my only direct cost would be gas right now, right?
Gas.
Transportation.
Yeah, the car has to go. He needs a car for his passengers to sit in.
Yes.
Okay, so what it cost me to buy the vehicle is that I don't have to put that, right?
In that case, Tyrone?
Yes.
Let's say you have a van, a regular van, a Ford.
Let's say I have an SUV. Let's use SUV.
SUV.
Okay.
There's a section here called asset.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right here next to the expenses.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth item from the left, you move to the left. From left to the right is the fifth item called asset.
Mm-hmm.
So when I click the assets, for example, it's going to ask me, do you have any major purchase with long-lasting value? So that's the first step. You have to add this asset in there. It's called SUV,
mm-hmm.
For example.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go next. Now, do you buy this SUV as a one-time, or you finance it like people do? They pay every month for 3 years and then they change it again. So for example, you buy this SUV for one time. For how much is the SUV cost?
55,000. Yeah.
So this is $55,000.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine this is your new business and you just buy this van in May next month, right?
Right.
So you put this in this asset area, and this is a long-term or short-term because they want to know if you could resell it later. So because an SUV will last for more than 3 years, so I would say it's long-term, 5 years.
Okay.
Do you plan to resell it? Yes. After you finish with 5 years, you can resell it.
Right.
So how much would you think it's worth after 5 years?
20,000 maybe. No, about not even that.
All right. So
depreciate.
It's about 18,000, Mr. Tyrone.
Huh?
It's about 18,000 because my dad just sold his.
All right, so we'll sell this for 15,000.
Right.
So this is captured in the asset. That's the first step, your SUV. And then you have to also put down over here where it says financing.
Right.
So let's say you took out a loan in buying the SUV, right? So you add a loan of the SUV. Tips about loans. So what do you want to call this? We want to call this SUV loan. So you're going to receive this when you open your business in May, which is $55,000. Now I'm going backward. Later on, I'm going to show you how to claim these items. Okay, so you're getting a loan for 10%, and you're going to pay, it was 5 years, there's 60 months. Okay, so this captures the loan. Now, your gas, your second question is the gas. So now we took care of the van. You got the van, the SUV, is yours, but is actually financed through a loan, pay off in 5 years. So the gas part is when you use the gas, you're going to capture it every month.
Expense.
Right.
So that will be the expense. We add the expense here. So if you use gas, every time you go to the BP Amoco, ExxonMobil, you enter this into it, your expense.
Okay.
So we'll put the gas in there. This is not rent, it's not marketing, it's other expenses. And it varies amount over time. So it's going to ask you how much gas you use for this SUV every month. So now you have the forecast. We are trying to doing like a crystal ball and say, okay, I wanted to see where business is going to be stand in 12 months. So they ask you to forecast into the future. So from May next month into April next year, you have to put in these gas you put into SUV. So you have to estimate. So we're talking about large SUV. So let's say it's $500 a month, right? That's a lot. Is that a lot?
No. Because I'm doing business, so I'm moving, I'm burning gas.
So we put down $2,500 a month, 5 times that, okay? Now, and then next month, a little bit more, because the economy recovers 26,100. Now, you can also use your graph to move. Sorry? Any questions?
No, it was just
Okay.
the background.
So you can also put your cursor in the dot, and then you can drag to the next month. Like when I click the left button, right? I left clicked, I drag to the next pull to the July, pull to August.
Right.
You could pull up, pull down, or you could just pull across to forecast into the future, 12 months. And then after you do this, if you think $2,000 a month is like too high or too low, there is a change percent here on the top. Everybody see I put the cursor in there? Change meaning now the overall forecast, you could change it by, let's say 5% up. So all of a sudden you're gonna see your expenses go up by 5% apply. See, a little bit move up. If I put in like, I'm gonna do a dramatic change, let's say a negative 25%. Let's say the oil price crash and all of a sudden it's got like 25% cheaper. So you're gonna see the price come down by 25%. So this is how you add the gas with the SUV into your forecast. Okay, any other questions?
And Brian, I just wanted, just in case some people are just focusing on the blue line, the numbers were changing at the bottom as you move the line. So I think it's important
Correct.
not be focusing on the numbers at the bottom, but as you move it up and down, you know, this is the part I love because you can spend all day having fun with your numbers and knowing where your profit is. And I'm hoping our members will get to be addicted to this part of the business plan after they've done their pitch, because this way they know whether they're, you know, it's just great. Anyway,
So this can be done by every one of us in here.
Yeah.
Once you log into your life plan, again, you go through that process of answering like 6-7 questions about your company. And then immediately you are presented with 4 choices. If you want to do the pitch, forecasting, plan. So I come into the forecasting. So you could do the same thing. So everyone here could do it. You just have to log in and practice. And after you get the account activated and you got everything working properly. So now we're going to keep this van, for example, save and close. So imagine we go back to Panache, Eurosol Catering, and now we also got an SUV for delivery or pickup guest. So we got the SUV, but we jump because we forgot the personnel we skipped. So now we have to go back to the 3rd tab below forecast. So everything I'm doing here right now is under this tab called forecast. That's like the top umbrella. And then below that, I am in the financial tables because they also have profit and loss if you want to see the page. They also have balance sheets, cash flow statements. But because I'm working on the projection, they put me in this first tab under forecast called financial tables and doing the revenue. I did the revenue, you know, we got the wedding income, catering income, event space, and we put in those direct costs for preparing the food, like these vegetable, seafood, meat. Now we have to put in the labor. Okay, any other question?
I don't know if Helen, did you get your question answered? Helen is in the.
I did. Thank you. Thanks, Winnie. I did.
And her business is IT, so I'm sure IT will have its costs and, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, so for your IT, your website design, you go through the same process. It's just a little bit different. But now we are using Panache. We are going to add personnel. Okay, so you can see this green button on the left. When I put my cursor in there, it turns into a finger, and I click add personnel, and right away it asks me, tell us about this employee. Now you could choose one employee who's going to serve cocktail behind the counter, or it could be a group. Let's say you're doing catering or wedding, and you hire 5 servers. So you could put in as group. So you don't have to enter in 5 one at a time. You could put in as a group, for example.
Ryan,
yeah,
can I ask a question? This is Rotasha from Fresh Fire Coaching. Now on this, because I'm the only one in my business, say I have a contract and there's a need in my business to outsource something, and I want to outsource it to Winnie, who's also a coach, and she's an expert in the area, and I'm hiring Winnie as a subcontractor. Does this fit under this area, what you're explaining?
So you have no employee?
No, I'm the only one in my business, and I want to outsource a particular area of a product to Winnie. Can I use her in this area? Because it's a subcontract.
Yes, but it will not be in here as employee, because if you go to next, they're going to ask you if you're going to withhold their retirement, income, social security tax. What is the tax rate?
Okay.
Are you going to provide health insurance? So then you just disregard it and say, okay, no personnel. They are subcontractor, independent contractor. They don't get salary. So in that case, you skip the personnel and you put in there as expense.
Brian, quick question though. On the personnel, as you being self-employed, wouldn't you put yourself there?
Yourself?
Yeah.
Like with the PPP, the S Corps, we have to put ourselves as personnel if we were going to get the benefits of the PPP.
Yeah, that's a good question. But in this case, personnel, to me, it seems like they're asking for employees. As soon as you put in personnel, they ask you for this name of the employee. So if you put yourself in there as an employee,
Yeah.
that's your decision, that's fine. And then you just have to follow all the employee guidelines, unemployment insurance,
Yeah.
Right.
disability insurance,
Yeah.
so on. So that's your individual decision. Or like if you wanted to pay yourself because you wanted to pay yourself and do the PPP loan, there's a section in the forecast called dividends. This is the third one from the right side, going backwards. Third one from the right side is called dividends. If I click into dividends, do you plan to issue dividend to your shareholders? Shareholders are the owners. So for example, if Winnie has this company and is a corporation, she's the owner, the only person that she wanted to pay herself, and this will be in dividend. They call it dividend or distribution of earnings here. So it will show up on your PPP loan application. They are looking for your gross income or your line 31, the net profit after you deduct everything. So that will be under profit and loss. The second one under forecast, if you click profit and loss, then you will see right away here, for example, but this is projected, it's not real, it's forecasting the future, but you will see that the net profit, it says 54% or $230,496. So as forecast, if you send this to your lender, like TD Bank for a PPP loan, then they will look at this line 31 called net profit. But with the PPP revision, now they look at the gross margin. They will look at the gross. Okay, so in this case, your gross will be up here, 266,000 and change. That's before you deduct the gas, because gas is an expense. So it will be in this financial statement called profit and loss. So you can show it to your lender.
If I can interject a little bit, Brian. So like Sonia, so if you created, you say you're a sole proprietor.
Yeah.
Then as Brian says, you're actually receiving dividends. However, like for me, like I'm a LLC, for example, Panache is an LLC. So I'm actually on the W-2. I'm an employee of Panache because it's an LLC. Do you know what I mean? And so I have employee, I'm on the W-2 and I can actually put myself in there as a personnel, as he just stated. Versus with you, you put yourself in as getting dividends.
Oh, okay.
All right. And Rotasha, it asks about the expenses. So Rotasha, you would put under expenses, you would put consultants.
Okay, thank you.
Contractors. What that expense is. How much am I gonna pay my subcontractors, my suppliers, my vendors? Okay.
Thank you.
Would be under expense.
Right.
Yep. So all these numbers that we are entering now applies. Yeah. Any other questions?
I know when they go through it, it's the questions come up when you're going through it because it's a bit, you know, and this might be advanced and we're doing the basics, but this is the idea when they have the software there to practice, and we are going through the hand-holding appointments with them one-on-one. Tomorrow is hand-holding, but they know they have, as long as they're a member, we will be on there with them to help them through it when they get to those stages.
Hey, Brian,
Exactly.
Brian, we're at 8:50. I'm sorry, I took a lot of the time in the beginning, but we want them to see what benchmarking is about.
Okay. So after we do the forecasting, okay, so assume that now the forecasting is done, you input all the revenues, you got all the direct costs, you put in some personnel, gas expense, okay? So now you wanted to see how accurate your forecasting is. comparing to the real world. So what LivePlan provides is a tab next to the forecast called benchmarks. So if I click the benchmarks, for example, okay, everybody see this page just changed?
Yes.
Now, for those new, you can watch the video and this lady is going to show you how to do it. But we're going to get started into the benchmarks, for example. The first question they ask me is the industry. What is Panache, a Eurosol catering event? So I would say this is restaurant, for example. So I'm going to type in restaurant.
Yeah,
RES.
hospitality industry. Hospitality industry.
Okay.
Hopefully they have that out there.
Or catering, if that's really where it is.
Yeah.
On the catering, that's.
Yeah, hospitality is a high level, and then they have
bed and breakfast.
down. You might have full service. Yeah, so he was right.
Right.
The NIA codes, just put
And it gives you your NIA codes, which is great.
Yeah, I think Panache is a full service restaurant.
Yes.
So it tells you based on the restaurant industry that we put in, the forecast that I just did, comparing to about 1,000 restaurants that is in this industry who have submitted their tax returns, their profit and loss statements and other income statements to the company. This is a huge database that they collect. Now they break down into the average and comparing to my forecast or your forecast. You see this on the third column, your forecast is at 33% versus the benchmark, meaning comparing to other full service industry or service. Our forecast is about 3% higher. And if you wanted to know what does that mean, you click into, once you move your mouse in there, it turns to a finger, and then you click that blue box anywhere. It says, this is calculated by subtracting costs and then divided by this, get the revenue. So which is better? Higher. So since we have the 63%, our full service restaurant has a 4% higher revenue than the industry norm, comparing to maybe like 1,000 different full service restaurants that they collect the database from. These are from IRS, Dun & Bradstreet, and some private database company. And what does that mean? So you could look at explanation, month, let's see, current ratio, okay? Current ratio means current asset divided by current liabilities. So the assets will be the things that we put in there, like the SUV, and then the current liabilities are the loan payments we have to pay every month for the next 60 months, 5 years. And this metric helps you estimate your company's ability to pay your bill. So your forecast, higher, it's a little bit higher than the industry norm in current ratio. So we are okay. So we close this window and just go back, let me see, to operating margin, net profit margin. So all these are calculated. And before you go any further, I just wanted to show you, if you wanted to move this Panache Eurosol catering to the West Coast, then you would have to change the geographical region. Now we are using this Northeast US, like New York, New Jersey, as comparable. But they have other hundreds and thousands more financial statements, but only apply to those zip codes in Midwest or South or Western US. But Northeast is good. And then also you could change the size. Now, if I have the real financial statement from Panache, like the profit and loss, I will see that its sales size is under $1 million. So when you apply for PPP loan, for example, they always have like a limit on these size limit, how many employees you could have. If you have more than this number of employees, then you're not considered small business. You're not eligible. If your sales is greater than 10 million, then you're not small business. Then the SBA will say, no, you don't qualify for SBA disaster loan. So you choose the size, 1 million to 5 million, under 1 million. And then you said, I'm done. And then they apply this update to your benchmark. So that's all I have about benchmark. Any questions?
So basically, guys, you would do the benchmark. You're doing the forecast as Brian just showed, right? And then you're doing your benchmark. Then what the great thing, as I said about the life plan, is that you can now go back and kind of tweak your forecast, right? You can say, oh, you did some benchmarking, as he said, and you're talking about hundreds, as he says, company that you're comparing your forecast to, you're benchmarking, your forecast with. And now it gives you an idea, okay, if I say I'm higher than them, what's going to cause me, my company, to be higher? Am I doing something so different and so unique, such a great niche where I'm going to be making more money than what the industry is saying? Or should I go lower than the industry because I'm just starting out? So now it gives you an gauge. This is how you start to do your benchmarking and start looking at your numbers, looking at the forecast and tweaking it, to adjust, to what you feel comfortable with. Because the bottom line is that, when you pitch this, you want to have confidence that, yes, I am going to get this or more. You know what I mean? You want to be able to live up to what you're saying you're going to do, your forecast. All right. So
I have a question. Tasha has a question. Now, Brian, for you or Winnie, whoever, small businesses is considered anywhere under $5 million? Because in mine, I picked 7. So that's
10.
too high.
Under 10.
Under 10, okay, because I picked businesses that made under $7 million. Okay, because I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Yeah. 10 million and lower. Anything over 10 million, you're now mid-size.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're mid-size business.
Hey, Brian, I don't know if you're on mute, but let's see what we covered. So we covered the forecast, we covered the benchmark. I'm looking at the topics that we would cover for Brian.
The sales channel is the what?
Sales channels we never touched on yet, and we have not touched on the marketing activities. So
Well,
that requires another.
we have just 1 minute left. I think Panache marketing is wonderful. I mean, if you could share Panache window over here, you could see right away if you go into Panache marketing, you can see right away you have a website that's really attractive. You attract people to come and live life with a dash of panache. And then you you have these upcoming events like Mother's Day brunch, Father's Day brunch. You got testimonial, that's very good. And you got these photos, videos. These are very high quality photos and videos. I mean, the colors are blue is blue, red is red, so it's definitely professional photographs and these videos. And then on top of the page, you got these social media like Facebook, YouTube channel, your Instagram, and then you got your Google map in case people wanted to find their way, to Rosedale, they could get direction how to get there. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that
marketing,
hungry.
awesome marketing.
Yeah, and so this is definitely one of the key marketing activity for Panache. But then, of course, this is where you would add in a lot of other how do you plan on marketing your company, basically, or the marketing activities. So you would just list the different ways in which you look to market a company, and then you would create your specific strategies from there, marketing strategies from there.
Yeah, like where would you go when you know your niche market? Where do your niche market hang out? And you pitch your tent, your table, your flyers, whatever you have, speaking engagements, social media, going live on social media, as you see some of others have done, collaborating with others too, especially if you're brand new, to collaborate with a more experienced company that has more of a your target clients. That's one way of starting out when you're new, is to tag along with an existing company that actually have the clients that you are targeting.
That's correct. So what I'm going to do now, Brian, if you don't mind, because of course we're out of time, but what I wanted to do, I'm going to share what Panache Eurosol pitch looks like when it's done, the one-page pitch, when it's all done. All right, so they can get an idea.
So who that stop shit right there?
Okay, let me see if I have it. All right. Okay, so this is my one-page pitch. So at the top, as you can see, is where the headline is: Panache Eurosol, culturally healthy and uplifting catering and an event experience. So that's, the headline, as you can see, my logo, what is the opportunity? So you see where it lays out the problem, so when, have you fill it lays it out the problem. What's the solution to the problem? It lays out the target market. It lays out what your competitors are. It looks at, we didn't even cover this, but this is like your funding needed. What money that you're looking for. So it's very important, like when you're looking for funds, that you understand exactly, how much money you're looking. That's one of the first things they're going to ask you. How much money you need? How much money you look?
And for what?
And how are you going to spend it?
Yeah.
Asking for this money, how are you going to spend it, right? So that's going to be very important that you're clear on what your funding needs are. And then, of course, the sales and marketing that he just talked about, the sales channel. How am I generating, right? So your sales channel is kind of like your revenue income, your revenue streams, right? And he went through already, like on-site, off-site catering, my venue space, my weddings, my package, those are the different things, revenue streams that I'm looking, to make money for Panache make money. And then the marketing activity. So he just shared with you the strong e-commerce website. Now, he didn't show the e-commerce part of it, but of course, having an e-commerce website is a definite marketing strategy, right? How people are buying stuff on your site.
Yeah. How do they get your items, right?
That is correct. They can purchase your item right away. They can see your stuff, your advertising, and you get them to book. So like if you go on the site, you will see something on Panache site that says get a quote. So you must have a what we call a call to action. Calling the people to make an action, right? How are you selling them? So you have to be clear about what your marketing activities are. For me, it's email marketing, social media presence, unique cooking show, radio, newspaper, whatever. So what are the kind of things you're going to be doing to advertise your company? And here is just basically a high level of the financial projections, which is, of course, your projections are your sales forecasts. You just pull that from when you input your sales, and they put that here, and they kind of give like a 3-year. Most banks want to see 3-year, right? So they want to see 3 years of your past, your tax returns, and they want to see 3 years moving forward of your projections. So typically, at least minimum 3 years. Right.
And they want to see the profit. Make sure it's 1.25 of your expense, that you have cash flow leave over to make.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah. And they want to see your profit. So this kind of layouts, again, this is the pitch. So if you notice that I'm not totally done, I didn't really do this part. Very important. Like you should be laying out like your milestone. I was trying to do this very quick, because I told you I did this under 2 hours, right? To get this to the bank. And the critical items are on the top. And then here is where I put where my team, the personnel that Brian was talking about, kind of lay that out there.
Mhm.
So this is what your pitch would look like, is going to look, would look like when you're done. So any high level questions, because I want to wrap up. I know it's going to come to you much easier when you're actually doing it.
Mhm.
This is the high level part one of kind of giving you guys an idea of what the plan is about, the pitch is about.
Mhm.
Okay, any high level questions before I shoot it back to Winnie? All right, so in wrap up, what we want to do, we're going to ask everyone to think about all all the topics, the areas that we discuss, and start to kind of write them down before tomorrow. Like think about, what problem you solve. Think about what your headline would be, start to think about like, how much do I want to make? How much of my money I want to try to make? And how am I marketing myself? Start to think about the different components that we discussed today and start to write it down. So tomorrow when you're going through it, it will now be easy for you to plug it in. So Winnie, do we have are the folks here, the participants here, have a subscription, or how are we?
Yeah, so we only have 12 subscription for our new individuals, and they are Angela, Nigel Howard, Nisha, Helen Maxwell, Tyrone, Siobhan, Elaine, Ratasha, Chanel, Patrice. That's who we have right now. And if we have any other new individuals, we have 2 more spaces that if anyone signs up tonight as a member or renew their membership, they can have it if they're a new member, not those who have already had the plan, but those who have never had the plan are the ones who are able to do that. Everyone else, the fee is $15, I think 99 a month. And it's, it's no contract. So if you went on and you purchased it for one day for a month, you will be able to do that. Please put the link to chat for membership. Yes, we'll put the link for membership in the chat. All righty, so that goes to the Malls NYC.
Yeah. Okay, so how are you guys feeling? I'm assuming silence is means that you guys got it. Y'all are ready then. Y'all are ready to go on to part 2, right?
This was great. This was
great. This is great. I found it very helpful, especially working with clients, because we asked for this in financing, the financial statements. We also need to see their business plan, and 1 page is really great because it's concise and it helps them to see a picture that you know where you're going in your business and what you need.
That's correct.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so I just want to say, but it was phenomenal, Annette and Winnie, because it really gets you to boil down precisely the elements of your business that are really critical. And you have to crystallize what it is that you know, to implement your business.
Yes.
So it gets you to think clearly and makes it very succinct and tight.
And that's really what Malls is all about when they, and because of our collaboration with Brian is very responsive. So you have all the help you need. It's just for you to decide to come forward. We don't want to go under a rock to find you, because then, you have to be able to say help and be very serious about understanding to really get your business. Now, I'm going to tell you the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur spend time in the numbers. That's why Annette is an entrepreneur. She does have some, that, but she spends time in the numbers. A business owner do not like to spend time in that they are heavily emotionally tied to their business, which can be a detriment. Anybody and an investor will let you know, if you get yourself emotionally tied to your business, you can run it to the ground and fail because you're not being objective, you're too subjective. So we are hoping that the relationship that you have with malls is help you to really become a that with an objective view, so you can pivot easily, and no matter if you love this, you're willing to cut it, right? In order to save your business. You cannot be so emotionally tied to your employees that you can't let them go. It's hard. You have to have that heart where you said, I'm sorry, I have to give you a pink slip. But there are other things that you can do. You just don't throw them out there. But that's what you should expect by being with malls. We are hoping that is a 3.5 year minimum to 4 years relationship with malls, consistent membership, so that we can take you through all the various stages of development. Some are very fast, like Annette, and some you might be a whole year. We're teaching you a little at a time, and so don't feel overwhelmed. No, it's one-on-one. Tomorrow you will be in, but no, it's not the end. You will be forever making an appointment with or with Brian or Annette, anyone, and we will do a one-on-one and have the patience to take you through.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I know Angela loves that. And Angela is looking to scale. She has been 30 years in business and she needs employees. So I know that's going to help you with the math, right? To know if you can afford them.
Yes.
So the next thing is to let you know, for some of you that have done your assessment, one of the requirements for the vetting program, it starts with you doing your assessment. Some of you, a number of you, have gone through your assessments. You filled it out and you sat with me, and we now know the areas you need. Many of you needed to be here tonight and you came. I applaud you. All right. Some of you tell me that you don't have your values, you don't have your why, and your vision is still not clear. That class is the 18th, 19th, and 20th of this month, is currently on the calendar. That's the foundational class, and yours truly will be teaching that. That's the space I live in, because I want to make sure if your foundation is strong, you can go higher than the World Trade Center, okay? You can pivot and you can swing because the foundation is strong. So the why, your values, your vision will be taught on the 18th, 19th, starting on a Sunday afternoon from, 4 to 6, 2 hours, and then the Monday evening. And so this way, I know those of you who have already done your assessment, I know that I'm going to pull you to be in that class because I see that is missing. The rest of you who have not done your assessment, you've gotten the email. Once you're a member, I will see that you have not done. You're going to be getting emails from me over and over and over. Take your assessment, okay? I'm not letting up, because you need to have contracts. You need funding. And we don't want to look bad by making promises that we can't keep because you are not doing your part. That's all we're asking. This is exciting, guys. It's fun. It looks overwhelming. It looks tedious, but yes, shifting that mindset from your comfort zone to now saying, I love my business, I want to make it work, and Malls is here to help me. Brian is here to help me. We have QEDC, we have the Port Authority, we have so many agents ready to help you. There's no reason for you to fail.
That's right. And with a business plan and a pitch like this,
That's it.
It was setting you up for success.
Absolutely.
A lot of people, a lot of companies just open up their business without having any sort of plan.
Recipe for failure.
No plan. And so, they say, if you don't
you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
That's correct. That is right. That's what the saying goes. And it's so, all right. So with that said, Winnie, I think that's it. I don't want to keep people over too much. It's 9:15.
Right.
Guys, tomorrow promptly at 7. So the early bird catches the worm, right? So as you come on, we're going to be assisting you with your pitch. Right? Okay. So come on early. I'm going to be on early. Brian will be on early, and we're going to be starting to help people right away. Okay. Help you to get your pitch going.
Right. Gwendolyn, did you put your phone number in the chat? I could reach out to you one-on-one. I don't know if it's in the chat. Did you? Okay.
Okay, bye, Brian. Thank you. Good night.
Right,
everyone.
Brian.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night. Good night.